Okay, guys, this time, what we're looking at here. Okay, we're looking at this sampler, this other melody instrument, which you will hear in the verse of the track. And of course, you'll be able to find it in our sample pack, which you can purchase from the link in the description. 50% of proceeds go to everyone on boards, 50% go back into the Heard Good Things project. I'm not trying to make any money, we're just trying to make music in a way that helps other people. So please consider purchasing it. And also consider streaming the Everyone on Board's track, sk8r, because 50% of streaming revenue also goes to Everyone on Board from that. So it's a super easy way of just donating without having to do anything. Sounds like this on its own. And in the track, sounds like this.
Let's go.
Very cool. So let's get into how we made this. Of course, first things first, we're going to need a new MIDI track, Apple Shift T, and we're going to need a sampler. And Ableton's stock one is a wonderful example. You might even say it's the only example I know of, so I don't have any reference point, and you would be correct. Now let's see, what was the sound that I originally started with? Show in browser. Started as this sound, which incidentally I think is the same girl who gave us the little woo, which we used to make the chorus melody, which was in our last tutorial, which you should check out and is very interesting and educational, and you'll love it. So thank you to this little girl. I wish I knew your name so I could thank you personally. Actually, probably shouldn't say names of people on the internet, but thank you, little girl, because you've given me lots of tonal content to make melodic instruments with. So it started out as this. She's just, I don't know, joyful about something. God, I'm gonna have to find it, aren't I? Because I want to know where it came from. You want to know where it came from. So where did it come from? There it is. It's from the end of this. So I took that, because I'm a genius. So reverting back to here, this is the little bit I chose. And I put it into a sampler, as I will do now. So root note C3. That's what it sounds like. So by the looks of things, we need to shave off a bit of guff at the end here. And I'm going to put it into loop, backwards, forwards, sustain mode. Which incidentally, for this melody is not that applicable because there are no long notes. It's just very staccato melody. Okay, so usual ting, we need to find out what the dickens this pitch is so that we can work it into other musical sounds. Kind of looking like a D sharp to me. Let's go an octave down to see. Yeah, okay, so it's looking like a sharp D sharp, so I'm just gonna bring that down, let's say 25. Okay, great, but I'm pressing a C, and I'm getting a D sharp. C is 3 semitones below D sharp. That means we need to raise this root note by 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3. So now I'm pressing a C, and I'm approximately getting a C. It's very unstable, I'll give you that. It's a very unstable pitch, so maybe we're going to need some auto-tune as we had before, but for now that'll do. And already if we copy the melody to this track, you'll see that it's starting to sound like the real thing. Okay, I guess I took it down an octave, so let's go to D sharp 4. Yeah, I mean, it's sounding very similar. I'm going to say a bit more on the attack there because it's a bit harsh. Cool. Okay, so that's a good start. And then from here, it's just kind of making the sound a bit more variable, a bit less annoying. It's kind of annoying, isn't it? It's a pretty annoying sound in isolation. So you do have to work pretty hard to keep it interesting. But let's do a bit of tone shaping and make sure we've cut out all the guff that we don't need. So let's pop in an EQ8. Take away the tuner now because we don't need it. Sounds good to me. And obviously I'm putting on a chorus because I love chorus. Just gives a little bit of width and a little bit of movement. And I just love it. There we go. It sounds a bit too wide because it's a melody. You don't really want it. You generally want melodies to be, well, that's not true. In this context, it's a bit too wide, so I'm going to take it down. Don't want to overall the stereo field. You know, the stereo bandwidth is a very precious thing. You have to be very judicious with your choices of what goes wide and what doesn't, because stereo width is kind of like bass. And like real top end, it's like a, I don't know what you call it. It's like a luxury. It's like a, you know, if your whole track is just like super bass, you get no oomph from it. The bass becomes meaningless. It's like if you have ice cream, if you have too much ice cream, it's like the first bite, it's like, oh, amazing. And then the second bite, you're like, oh yeah, that's good. And then by the third bite, fourth bite, it's like, it's still, you know, tastes all right, but you start to get a bit numb to it. Bass is the same. Real top end is the same. Stereo width is the same. You have to vary wide and narrow. Also, it's a mixed thing. If you have every element in your track being wide, then you just have this smear of guff in a stereo field. Whereas if you have little pointed bits, bit of melody here, bit of percussion there, bit of vocal there, and then generally speaking, reverb is what sits awash over the whole thing. Then you build up this nice collage of sounds that each have their own little space, and then a little bit of something to bind them all together. In extreme sound design cases, you maybe will have a vocal that's got a slap delay that's like hard left and right. And those are very effective sound design choices if you know what you're doing. But long story short, and it's not short because I just did a long way about it. Long story short, I'm taking out some width. There we go. Let's put it like 30%. And let's name this so it's not called resump. Verse melod, that'll do. Then to give it a bit more movement, I'm going to pop on a bit of phaser flanger. Take down the amount. And that's again made it quite wide, so I'm going to pop on a utility here, bring down the width again, let's say 50-ish%. Something like that, that's good. And then a bit of compression, because everyone likes compression. Keep the sound nice and even. Let's pop it on this mode here so we can see our peaks. Don't mix with your eyes, folks, but sometimes it's helpful. 4 to 1. Great. And then like I say, the pitch is kind of, I mean, it's very unstable. So let's go Apple F, put some Melder auto pitch on here again. And remember we're in the key of E, major, high speed, high depth. How are we sounding? In fact, I'm going to put this before the effects because it's probably quite difficult for it to detect the pitch after all these effects are happening. Signal chain order is very important. See, now look, it's not having to work so hard. Look at how much it's correcting there, as opposed to if I put it here, how much it's correcting. Bigger swings of pitch, so it makes much more sense to pop it here. And then I think just to top it all off, I'm going to pop on a bit of reverb here. And that's pretty much it for the bass sound design. But then to keep things interesting throughout the course of the melody, I've actually done some automation of pitch within the envelope. If we go to envelope, MIDI control, pitch bend, you can see I've just done some little pitch bends to keep it a bit more interesting. It's kind of cool. Also, I've just done little, you know, stuttery, not stuttery, but quick notes. I'll be honest, it was a difficult one. It was hard to keep it interesting, and I still, yeah, it's borderline, but I think it does work, and you only hear it for a little bit, so. Yeah, it's still an interesting sound. It's a unique sound. I think not hard to tell that it was originally from a voice sample, I'd say. However, still useful. And made from the sound of the joy of a little child skateboarding, which is wonderful, which is exactly what we're about. That's all for this one. I hope you've enjoyed the little green things in my glasses, because I can't figure out how to get them away.